I'm Sarah Baxley, and welcome to Pinkie the Bear. This is my Mystics, Metaphysics, and Mindfulness channel, and I'm here today with your astrology forecast for the week of December 9th, 2018. So right before I hop into the two upcoming themes for this week, I just want to say thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry that I did not post a video last week. Unfortunately, my little kitty cat, Castro, that I've had for almost 16 years since he was a kitten, unfortunately passed away, and he's in the next dimension now, so it was kind of a rough week. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I'm wearing my glasses, because my eyes are still kind of puffy. But anyway, so you have librarian Sarah today. But anyway, okay, so thank you so much for everything, and for those of you that don't already follow me on Instagram, that's kind of the social media that I tend to do the most and with the most announcements. So, you know, God forbid there's like any other announcements like that anytime coming up, but you can always follow me there, and I do post at all of the major moon cycles, and I write in a very I try to omit any like fancy like technology. I try to omit any fancy astrological lingo in those posts. So especially if you're new to astrology, following the moon cycles is one of the easiest ways to do it, and so I kind of try to keep it as easy for people as possible. So if you don't already follow me at Instagram at Pinkie the Bear, then follow me there. But anyway, okay, I'm here with your two themes of the week, which are 1, kick back, and 2, take a breather. All right, so this has been like a this has been a tough year for a lot of people. I just kind of wanted to take the time to acknowledge that. We had some pretty hardcore eclipses at the beginning of this year. We had another set of them in summertime. This was like the year of like the personal planetary retrograde. We had Mars retrograde, we had Venus retrograde, we had Mercury retrograde, which always happens all the time, but Mars and Venus ones don't happen as often. So a huge chunk of this year, aside from, you know, being a little bit more, I think, on the somber side, a huge chunk of this year was really dedicated to reviewing our life, you know, really kind of taking the time to like look back at, you know, like kind of like taking a snapshot of our life, like really looking back and reflecting upon all of the things that are important to us, the things that we want to kind of like keep around in our lives, kind of the things that are serving us, the things that are important, and, you know, kind of all the things that are going to sustain us for the long term, both like in our physical world, in our work environment, in our emotional environment, in our relationships, and our self-care. I mean, everything. This was a really big year. So it's interesting because, and I've like laughed about this before, but it's really interesting because there's certain weeks where like I feel like there's so many transits that are going on that I don't even know how to condense it down. And then there's other weeks like this week where, I mean, it's pretty freaking mellow, to be honest. And I think of all the weeks I've been doing videos, I think since sometime in like May-ish, I believe. And since then, I mean, this is honestly, I think, one of those more mellow weeks. And we kind of have a couple mellow weeks, both this week and the following week, really through the end of December, it's kind of more mellow. So that brings me into the themes. I'm just going to put both in the same explanation, which is kick back and take a breather. So just kind of really take this time right now to just give yourself like a pat on the back. This has been a rough go for a lot of people this past year, myself included. And, you know, I think that it's important to really, you know, when we've gone through things that are very difficult, it's really important for us to really honor our emotions and really honor where we've been and, you know, the things that we've experienced and the things that we've endured and the wisdom that we've gained, and, you know, just kind of give ourselves a little bit of love, because, you know, sometimes like when we're in the thick of things and the thick of stuff that's happening and that's going on in our lives, we kind of just plunge forward and move forward and, you know, kind of keep going because we have to. We got to, you know, pay the bills. We got to live our life. We got to, you know, have our families. You know, there's so many different components and so many different aspects that really just kind of slowing down and taking a little bit of like mindfulness to reflect on how badass that we are, to be able to go through those things and, you know, and come out the other end a stronger person. So for all of you out there that have had a difficult year, have had a difficult time, I want for you to know that you're not alone. It was a tough year for me too, and though I go over, you know, all these astrology transits, you know, the thing that's important is that we, you know, we each ourselves have our own personal blueprint, our own personal chart. So, you know, a lot of the transits that I'm, you know, whenever I do these videos, I'm kind of discussing where the planets are currently at in our solar system, and depending upon what your chart looks like, there might be certain parts that light up or get activated. So this was definitely a year where a lot of the lights were going off crazy on the switchboard, and a lot of people were getting, you know, we're having kind of things happen this year, both with the eclipses and Saturn in Capricorn, and in fact, I mean, there's like a whole generation of people that have numerous planets, outer planets in Capricorn. So just a lot of people have been kind of, you know, kind of going through it. And I just think that it's important for us to acknowledge that we haven't been going through it alone, that we've kind of been going through it together as a collective. And I just want to like give a little bit of love to that. So anyway, so this week, kick back, take a breather. Next week is pretty mellow as well. In fact, the next video, I think I might kind of do maybe like a little bit of just like a mini recap of this past year, or potentially also discuss maybe kind of like a bullet point of things that are going on next year in 2019. I also have my astrology pocket calendars that are available on my website, so you can check it out there. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, and hang in there and give yourself lots and lots of love, and I'll see you around. Cheers.